The 7 habits of highly effective guitar practice. So in this video, we're going to be going over these 7 different habits that I found over my nearly 20 years of playing and teaching guitar will make sure that your practice is going to be as effective as possible and that you're going to be maximizing your time and getting the results that you want and making sure your playing is constantly progressing. So let's get started. Number 1, and I really wish that someone would have told me this a long time ago, and that's why I'm making it number 1 to give you right up front in the video, is always practice in time. So practicing either with drums or with a metronome, practicing in time. Now, the thing is that we spend a lot of time as guitar players learning about different things like scales and chords and different theory concepts and modes and yada, whatever it is that you're interested in that has to do with notes and with harmony. Now, the thing is that it's really easy to get tempted to sort of sit there and just play the chords or play the scales and really like intellectualize like every single note you're playing and so on and so forth. But the bottom line is that every single melodic and harmonic concept that you learn is going to have to be played in time, whether it's you're improvising a solo or you're writing a song or you're playing a song, right? Songs and music is going to be in time. Overwhelming majority of the time, it's going to be in time, unless it's like rubato. Even rubato stuff, you need to have good time to play rubato too, in my opinion. So you might as well start playing things in time as soon as possible. So if you're learning your triads across the neck, playing with a drum track. If you're learning literally anything, just make sure you start playing in time right off the bat with the drums. It is so important because we don't want to ignore rhythm. Ignoring rhythm is so terrible. It's just we're not using our time as effectively. Why am I going to sit here and play a scale or play chords and ignore rhythm completely when I'm gonna have to add rhythm back in at some point? It's just going to be harder later on when I try to play in time if I'm not used to playing in time. You see what I'm saying? So that moves us to habit number 2 of our 7 habits of highly effective practice, which is to record yourself every day. This is something that I have my students doing a lot. And every single time, without exception, it makes them super duper uncomfortable. I pull out my phone, start recording them, or I just have them see that little red light coming on, that little red recording light, and there's something that goes on in your mind and your body, like your heart starts racing, you get nervous, you start overthinking every little thing that you're playing. This is a big problem, right? You want to be able to record yourself. You need to be able to record yourself. You need to be able to show the world what you're doing, what you're playing. Look at the recordings that I have on my channel. I'm not going to play in this video. I'm just talking, but you got to be able to record yourself. You got to be comfortable with it. And guess what? The only way you're going to get comfortable recording yourself is to do it every single day. Not just do it a lot. Do it every day. Every single day, whether it's you pull out your phone, turn on the voice memos. I think that's the easiest way to do it. Just turn on your voice memos, or even better, record a video of yourself. That kind of adds a little bit extra pressure because now you see yourself, and it can be very helpful too. You can see things with your technique. You can see other things that you normally wouldn't really be able to even see them or notice them if we're just listening to the audio that we're recording. But I could go on and on about this point. This is so important. You need to record yourself for that reason, that you just need to be comfortable recording yourself so that you can do the thing, you can show people you're doing the thing, but also because it's going to actually help you get better faster. It's an unbelievably indispensable practice tool. You can give yourself lessons, essentially, right? Because when someone teaches a guitar lesson to someone else, all they're doing is sitting there listening to that person play, making observations, things that they're doing wrong, things that they could improve on, so on and so forth, and then saying, okay, do this, change this, improve on this, whatever it is. But you can't really do that to yourself when you're playing, right? You're spending too much energy up here focusing on whatever song it is you're playing, the solo you're playing, right? But when you record yourself, you can sit down with an outsider's perspective, nice and calm, relaxed, and you can watch yourself, a clone of yourself, playing. And you can see exactly what's going on with no clouding of your judgment or your perception just because you happen to be playing, spending all your mental energy playing. So absolutely 100% must do it every day, must record yourself. Now, number 3, when we're practicing songs, do not stop ever. You need to be able to play your songs that you're working on without stopping. No matter what mistake happens, no matter what chord you screw up, no matter what happens. And this actually really ties back into number 1, which is practicing in time. You don't want to stop ever. The rhythm is the most important thing. And specifically not stopping the rhythm is the most important thing. You could even play the wrong rhythmic material, right? You could play quarter notes instead of eighth notes. You're supposed to play eighth notes in a section, but you play quarter notes instead. That's fine as long as those quarter notes or those eighth notes or whatever rhythm you do play is in time, you don't get lost. This is so important for so many reasons. Number 1, if you're playing by yourself, as long as you don't stop, no one's really going to notice any mistakes you make. Unless it's something that someone is listening to you, they know exactly how that song's supposed to go. They know it really, really well. Even then, who cares? You're not going to sound bad if you just don't stop when you're playing. So you need to get in the habit of, once you have the song to that level, I understand that some songs you simply need to learn a whole entire section before you can even attempt to play it, and so on and so forth. But once you sort of have the structure of a song together from start to finish, you need to spend time playing the whole thing without stopping, no matter what mistakes happen. Of course, you also need to isolate problem areas. That's a super duper important part of practicing as well. But I see so many times people just can't play a song from start to finish. They stop, they start the song over again. No. Especially if you're going to play with a band, right? The band's not going to stop just because you made a mistake. You need to be able to keep going and get back on track. Super duper critically important part of practicing is to get in that habit of, I'm going to start this song, and no matter what happens, I'm not going to stop. Number 4, we're going to change the tune a little bit here. Practicing relaxation. Relaxation is a skill, in my opinion. And it's not just for playing guitar, it's pretty much for everything in life. I don't know if you're a big sports fan. I'm kind of a sports fan, but one thing I really admire about sports is you see these people in these high pressure situations, like a football game, and there's a minute left in the fourth quarter, and their team is down by 4 points, and they got to get a touchdown. And let's say use Tom Brady as an example. He's a kind of polarizing guy. Tom Brady is arguably the best quarterback of all time. One of the reasons why I think he's the best quarterback of all time is because in that situation, that high pressure situation where most people would freak out, they go, oh my God, what am I going to do? Who am I going to throw the ball to? They're just absolutely freaking out. Someone like him does the exact opposite thing. In the high pressure situation where most people will freak out, he gets super duper calm. He has that control over his mind. Why? Because when you're as calm as possible, that's the only way you can give yourself the best chance to make the right decisions when it counts. You can't make good decisions when you're freaking out. You can't play accurately with your fingers when you're freaking out. You can't listen to the rest of the band you're playing with when you're freaking out. You can't remember the lyrics you're supposed to sing when you're freaking out. You can't remember what scale you're supposed to play or what. It's way harder to do everything when you're freaking out. So that's why you need to practice doing the opposite. You need to consciously make that decision when you're practicing, not just to get the thing right that you're practicing, but to get it right and have it feel relaxed and feel easy. There's a very, very big difference between those two things. I practice many things where I can execute it, and someone might be able to sit there and say, yeah, you played it the right way. But inside, I had tension in my stomach, in my chest. I was clenching my jaw. I was just not very relaxed. And that's something that doesn't just come by accident. It's something you have to do on purpose. You can play something over and over and over until your eyeballs fall out, but if you don't know that you should be feeling relaxed while you're playing, you're probably not going to do it. You know, you need to make that decision. Oh, that's my standard. I need to be able to play these chords and feel relaxed and effortless. I need to be monitoring. How do my arms feel? How does my jaw feel? How does my stomach feel? Do I have tension in my body? Do I have tension in my arms, in my jaw? These are all places where we squeeze up when we're trying really hard to play something the right way. And it's just a natural reaction, but it's something that we kind of have to get a control over, rein it in so that we can make sure that we're going to be in the best possible mental state to execute the things that we want to execute and do it easily. Make sure it's going to happen every time. If we know it's going to feel easy, we're going to be able to execute every single time. Whereas if you got that tension, you might be able to execute some of the time, but it's still not going to be 100% in my experience. There's always going to be, I was too tense that time, and then I messed up because of that. So practicing relaxation, it's a skill, and you should work on it. Number 5. This actually plays into number 4 a little bit. I think it really helps with number 4 is practicing at different volumes / dynamics. Dynamics is the musical term for the volume you're playing at. So if you're playing a solo passage or you're playing a chord riff, can you play that super duper soft and quiet? And can you play it as loud as possible, but still have that internal relaxation going on? I find that practicing things super duper soft really, really helps you naturally relax a little bit more, right? It's very, very hard actually for you to be practicing really, really soft and have a lot of tension going in your body. It's like almost impossible. It is possible, but it's almost impossible. So it's just gonna, for many, many different reasons, it's gonna help. Number 1, it actually creates more variation. So most people always just practice at sort of a medium to loud volume, which is normal. And I've done that for years and years and years. But I still make sure to say, okay, I'm playing this solo passage. I'm going to play it really, really quiet and see if I can still execute it accurately. So anytime you change anything about anything you're playing, whether it's the volume, the length of the notes, changing one note at the end. This is actually a concept I was talking about in my last video on improvising, coming up with infinite ideas, that if we take a musical idea and we change one note at the end, well, now it's different. We just created a different version. And humans learn much, much better when we have lots of small variations of the same task we're trying to do. So having that change in the volume, change in the dynamics, is creating a new variation of the thing that you're trying to practice. If you're practicing a riff from a song and it's supposed to be a medium volume, but now you play it at a super quiet volume, well, you just made a variation of that. It's different. It's a different volume. Or you play it really loud. That's another variation. So just with that alone, right, you can create 3 variations on literally anything you play. The medium volume, the soft volume, and the super loud volume. That's already 3 different variations, and they require slightly different mechanics from your right hand, from your left hand. They require different levels of tension in your body, and it's going to help you learn faster and retain things for longer. Okay, number 6. This is really, really, really important, and it's a problem I run into with a lot of people. Always try again, and again, and again, and again, and again. So oftentimes I'll have some students try something, and they'll try it once, maybe twice. And they'll try this thing, and this maybe takes about 30 seconds. And after 30 seconds, they go, I can't do it. And it just doesn't cease to amaze me how quickly people give up trying to do something. Like, I'll have people try to play something super simple, and they can't do it perfectly on the first or second time, and they go, I can't do it. How are you going to do anything in life like that? Can you name one single thing, honestly, that you've ever tried and was like perfect the first or second time you tried it? I really can't. I've tried to think about it. Maybe that's something I got to try again and again. See if I can think of something that I was able to get right on the first time. It almost never happens, especially now with guitar. Guitar is a complicated task. Guitar is like one of the most complicated things that you can do. You're moving your left hand and your right hand is doing something different, and you got to think of what notes you got to play and the rhythms. There's so many different elements going on at the same time, even for something super simple to be able to be executed properly. So like 90% of the battle here is just how many times are you willing to try something? How quickly do you give up? What is your expectation? Do you expect to be able to do everything on the second time or the first time? If you do, you're going to have big problems. You're not going to have fun playing guitar. You need to accept that this is just the way it is. Yeah, sometimes you got to try something 50 times, 100 times before you get it. But you will get it, right? If I can sit here and I can guarantee you that if you do something 100 times, you're going to be able to do it perfectly. Well, now, for every second you're complaining, oh, I can't do it, you're just wasting time to get there. In the amount of time you said, I can't do it, you could have just played the thing again, and you'd be one more repetition closer to being able to play the thing correctly, right? It's like when you're on a road trip or something. You got a 4-hour trip, and you either keep driving, and for every single minute you're driving, you're getting closer, or you stop and you go, oh, this is too long. I don't want to do it. Okay, well, if you know at the end of the day you're just going to keep going, well, for every second you stop, it's just taking you another second to get to where you want to go. So just accept it right now, guys. Like, some things you got to do it hundreds of times before it's going to really, really, really sink in. Just because you don't get it the second time doesn't mean you can't do it. You can't do it yet. Okay, there's a huge difference between I can't do it ever, no matter how hard I try, and I can't do it right now because I've only tried to do this for 30 seconds. Come on. I see this way too much, and I really, really want to sort of cut this out of people's minds. Anybody who watches my stuff, at least. Get that out of your mind. Almost nothing you will ever be able to do that quickly. That's just the reality of it. And even if you are able to do something that quickly, you might not remember it, right? There's a difference between learning how to do something and being super duper comfortable doing it and not have to think about it. Those are two different levels of knowledge. And we want to get everything, ideally, to that level of knowledge that's automatic and easy. And that's going to require you trying again and again and again and again and again ad nauseum. Okay, so the last habit, number 7, and to me, this ties in really, really well to number 6, trying it again and again, is you need to trust your practice. So I understand. Sometimes you practice something for a while. Sometimes you even do try it again and again. And you don't immediately see the results. You maybe even sometimes feel like you get slightly worse at something you practice. That's happened to me many times. Guitar is not just a perfect line straight up like this, your progress. It's more like it goes up, then it goes down a little bit, then it goes up, then it kind of goes straight, then it goes up. It's not perfect like that. What's more important is the overall trend. And this is very similar to another sort of difficult endeavor that people engage in, and I've done myself, which is losing weight. So when I was about 16, I don't think I've ever told this story on this channel before. When I was about 16, I lost a ton of weight doing this program called Insanity. I was like 250 pounds, and then within like 3 months, I got down to like, 210 pounds. And I noticed some days you weigh yourself. I weigh myself every day. Some days you weigh yourself, you go up in weight. I go, what the heck? I worked out perfectly yesterday. I ate perfectly. I did everything perfectly. But that's just how our bodies work, and that's kind of how nature works. It's just the same thing. It wasn't about, do I lose weight every single day? It's about what's the overall trend. And the overall trend was always down. So, you lose 3 pounds, and then you go up one day 1 pound. And then you stay at the same weight for 3 days. And then you lose another 3 pounds one day. And then you go up 2 pounds. And then you lose 5 pounds the next day. But the overall trend is down, right? The sort of setbacks are outweighed by the progress that you're making. Same thing with guitar. And the only way that you'll ever stick to anything that you're doing is you have to trust and visualize that end goal. Visualize, how am I going to sound when I really have gone through this whole process, put the work in? That's the only way you'll ever be able to do it. Because if you're constantly allowing your emotions to be dictated by what's happening right this second, it's gonna be too much of a roller coaster ride. Oh, today wasn't that good. Yay, today was great. Oh, today was terrible. Today was whatever. No, you have to trust that. I know, even if today I don't see it, I know that it's impossible for me to not get to where I want to be if I do the things that I know I need to do every single day. Every single day. I trust, I know when I sit down and I practice my rhythm, I know my rhythm's going to get better. Even if it's not amazing today. Even if it's not amazing tomorrow. I know in a year from now, all I need to do is make sure I do my practice every day, my rhythm's going to be way better, or my soloing's going to be way better, or whatever it is, my goal happens to be that I'm visualizing myself being able to do really well. And that requires trust. You need to trust the process. If you don't trust it, you're going to say, this is not really working. I didn't get better today. This one day I didn't get better. This must not be working, and you're going to bail. And once you bail, well, yeah, it's definitely not going to work. You stop practicing. Yeah, you're not going to get better. So I hope that this helps. These are things that I really, 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 really wish that someone would have told me exactly like I'm telling you right now, right when I started practicing, because I would have had a much better mindset about guitar. It took me a lot of time to figure all this stuff out, and I really hope that it helps you all, and I'll see you in the next video.